What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Evil Ewok Podcast. We're all gathered here tonight for another episode of The Mandalorian. We're all here, Alex, Kat, and Zach. How's everybody doing?
Gang's all here.
I am not sick this week, and Kat stuffed a McFlurry and was late. So
Yes, that was my pre-stream fuel. I shoved a McFlurry down my face. So
you're frozen.
We should have just streamed it.
I should have just streamed that. Alex is now. He's not sick, but he's one with the Force.
Yeah. What's up, Alice, Charlie, Grand Moff Tom, A21 Edits? That's it for now. What's up, everybody?
Gang.
Alex has a body. He's back.
A21.
You're still frozen.
There you go. Okay,
I keep hearing things.
You're coming back.
What's up, Micah?
I'm not frozen. I'm not frozen.
You're just emotionally
I'm
challenged.
Fine. I'm never frozen.
Emotionally
It was
challenged.
a McFlurry.
But
Alice is leaving us already. But she
hearing
might be back.
Oh, she's driving. It's for her safety.
What
up,
time
Mr.
is it in
Fett?
Australia? I feel like it's
midday for them.
I feel like it's like 6 o'clock over there.
I
No.
think
Well, it depends on where.
She's usually like at work.
I don't want to dox
middle of-
Alice, but
Wait,
I
there
mean,
are different
we kinda wanna
time
dox-
zones even in Australia?
yeah, isn't there? Aren't there like 4 different time zones in Australia?
America
Alice,
has like
correct me if I'm wrong.
6.
This is true.
Yeah,
I don't
America
know
has like
why.
300,000. So
That is not accurate. Why came better not be adult Omega I'd be crushed. She doesn't have the same
No,
accent, so I
literally
don't
no.
think so. Alice says it's 5 p.m.
yeah,
There's 3 time
is
zones.
that like that's like Perth?
You're frozen again.
I think there's like a time zone in like a small area. Am I actually frozen?
You're
No,
like,
you're good now.
yeah, you're okay now. All right,
It's
well,
wishy-washy.
Are you guys messing with me?
no.
Oh, you're actually like... ugh,
Really?
Choppy. Yeah, you're a little choppy.
You're good right now.
Really?
You're actually good right now. Never mind.
What the heck? Hold
No,
on.
you're good. You're good. I see your lips moving.
Oh man, Serena, I'm sorry. That's rough.
No!
Of all the bones to break, I imagine a foot is not the one you want.
Oh, the
So
moment you get
debilitating.
a break and you break your foot, that sucks. I'm sorry.
Mm. Oh.
With a million more well on the way.
You probably just made her break the other foot with that joke. But you created the docket today, good sir. Do you want to take us down?
Yes. Okay. So we got quite a bit, but the thing that I want to start off with is Barriss Offee in the Ahsoka series ? I will pull it up. So I mean, I feel like in general these have this kind of like Barriss appearing in Star Wars has been a discussion for quite some time now.
Yeah.
But I figure since we're getting closer to Ahsoka, it's the time to maybe talk about it for real. According to this, it's Dave Filoni's teased Ahsoka series might bring a few more animated Star Wars characters to live action. I don't know if this is correct, but I think you could probably predict that they're probably referring to Barriss at some point or another. But if you look at the comments here, you can kind of say, I'm very skeptical. They'll have to find a really good reason why she wasn't killed during Order 66. Good reason being that Vader knew she turned and made her an Inquisitor, maybe. Who knows? I think the idea of her being an Inquisitor would be very interesting. I was always under the impression that maybe she saved Grogu. I don't know. What do
that
you guys
is
think
the
of
fan
this?
theory, no? From Book of Boba Fett, people were comparing the interior decor, the markings on the walls, some of the symbols, I think were like exact copies of what we see in Barriss's chambers. I might be twisting things, but I know that was a huge theory.
I remember that. But my counter argument to that has always been she's in prison at that time. Like, she's in prison. She's not in the Jedi Temple. She was arrested. Unless they have a story where she escapes. But why would she go back to the Jedi Temple during Operation Nightfall?
For real.
So I don't think she's an Inquisitor, and but I do feel like they should do something with her, because that's definitely a plot thread that never got resolved and never got revisited, even in Star Wars Rebels. So where is Barriss Offee? It's one of the greatest questions of the Filoniverse, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, it's like whether she's an Inquisitor or not, the description of why she is where she is, or why we see her now, or why she survived for so long, too. Especially if she appears in Ahsoka, where it's going to be like, bro, right? Like what? It's it can't be a one-liner, it can't be a one-off. A good description for why she is what she is, and why she survived for so long, why Vader didn't kill her. Most Inquisitors are already dead by now, and or if not
Yeah.
all of them.
If
Right?
she's in,
Yeah. So it's like she'd be in hiding somewhere. Who knows?
if she's in the Ahsoka series, I wonder if she's in league with Thrawn or something. Because I would envision her as the foil to Ahsoka, just kind of how she was at the end of Ahsoka's story in season 5 of the Clone Wars. It'd be interesting for them to meet up after so long and see how things have changed. Because Barriss wasn't totally wrong; she just went about it in the wrong way.
Yeah.
And I think Ahsoka came to see that, which is what excellent stories do. They have your villain change your hero, so that they reflect on the way they do things and make a change about themselves, even though the villain may not be totally right. So I always thought that was a great arc for not only Ahsoka but also for Barriss, and I'd love to see more of it.
Yeah, I think of all people, it's fitting for her to come back from. I mean, I don't even know who my first guess would be necessarily if at the thought of Dave Filoni bringing back more animated characters whose stories correlate with Ahsoka's, but Barriss certainly. I mean, I would take anybody from Clone Wars. I'm excited at the prospect of that.
Anyone?
Yeah, okay.
That's pretty broad, Kat.
I mean, okay. Well, I just love Clone Wars.
She just wants to see Maul be brought back somehow.
Y'all, Tom actually believes that's what's gonna go down. That's what's...
Maul's gonna come back.
Yeah, and did you guys actually see Star Wars? Star Wars Theory tweeted that he tweeted a screenshot of like the armor putting like some smelting Beskar or whatever like in that water that she does, and it shows the water, the ripples, and a reflection. And in the reflection, he says some people allege that they see like Darth Maul's face in this. And
oh my god!
No. If you look at the pics, I'd be the first to deny, and y'all know that I love my man's Darth Maul. So I'm like, don't give me faith.
Let's pull it up.
Can we pull it up?
Yes, find it. It's on his
Zach,
Twitter.
pull it up and then share it.
I don't have Twitter. How the hell am I supposed to do it?
Oh no, I was gonna say pull up the episode ourselves.
Let me.
We can actually look.
How do I send it?
Is it like they use some like filters to like help see things?
Oh, I literally don't know. I'm gonna send it to you, Alex.
I love how Alex and I had the same reaction simultaneously. It's like, oh my god.
This maybe it is filtered. Maybe. I guess you can't prove anything on the internet these days. If it's real or not, you have to take everything with a grain of salt. But I just sent it to you via Twitter.
Tom says we have to be getting a Maul flashback of Mando. I'd like it. I just they have a tendency to not give us the flashbacks we want. And Alex can speak from this from Kenobi not getting a Satine flashback.
Oh, we're gonna spoiler alert, we're gonna talk about that. But anyway, okay, I need to find this.
Spoiler alert, we're gonna talk about that.
Well, I feel like I told Zach I'm not gonna reveal it to him just yet.
Oh my god, you just caught up.
I feel like the prospect of seeing Satine for you though is much more alive now than it was with Kenobi, by far.
They haven't even mentioned her though yet, which is kind of surprising.
Okay.
Y'all saying Maul's reflection was in Mando episode 3 recap. Do you see it? Thoughts?
I see an eyeball.
Look at the markings. Look at the bones. Look at the markings.
Okay, hold on. I need to zoom in.
It's just it's bubbles. I mean,
I can't zoom in. It's a fucking Twitter post.
Look close. Look close.
I'm looking. It's
just like it's one of those. What's the term you use when people always try to look for faces in abstract art? What's that word? There's a word for it. It's something. It's like it's something that humans do. It's something like humans do when they look at things.
No, that's a different.
I don't know. But it's something that humans do naturally, where they always try to look for faces because we're predisposed from,
I know
our genetic.
I don't see
to be able to
shit.
identify faces to know if things are face.
I see an
that maybe there's
eyeball,
an eye here.
and on
I
the
see an eye
right,
here and like the face here, but it's like that's just because it's just a ripple and an illusion. There's no fucking way that this is
Alex,
gonna be
take your pointer and go
something.
all the way to the right. Right, that looks like an eye to me. That's the only
Yes.
thing.
This?
Yeah, that looks like a big eye. Like the pupil is huge.
I thought this was the eye, and this is like the left of the face. And see, and then these are like the markings of the head.
Interesting. Everybody sees something different.
I kind of saw that, which is why it's a phenomenon. It's kind of like a game of telephone. Like, this is not real. It's just a funny thing to talk about, right? There's no fucking way this is a thing, but it is interesting, to say the least.
What's up, Webin?
Closer to being a mythosaur than Maul.
Oh wait, actually, that's a good point too. Yeah, I mean, I'm so gullible that it's like I never would have looked at that and thought, oh, I see Maul's face. But as soon as somebody plants that seed in my brain, it's like, oh shit. And Tom, I also live with someone who is drastically pushing the prospect that we will see Darth Maul and now potentially Savage Press in live action format here in Mando season 3. So
honestly, I see more of like an Urukai. Like, remember the berserker ones that carried the torch and blew? Yeah. I don't know. When I glance at it, I don't know why I think Urukai, but it doesn't.
I see it too, actually.
Well, Alex is. It's the Cat and Zach show, everybody. Surprise! This is what you all came for. But what's up, Jarn?
Dude, my cam just like blatantly stopped.
The Force wants you back, Alex.
I don't know what the hell happened. That was so weird. Okay, I gotta share it again. Sorry.
Sir sees bubbles and forge light being reflected off a cave ceiling. Yeah. Alice is back. Our queen has returned.
Yes.
Yay!
Alice. Thank you. Oh, look. Simba.
Oh my goodness.
Look harder. Oh my god, that's hilarious.
Was Darth Maul in The Lion King?
I think this is just Disney telling us to watch Lion King. It's all a marketing ploy. I'm telling you.
Did you hear the theory the planet the Bad Batch landed on is actually Scarif? You mean Pabu?
Oh yeah,
Pabu.
I talked about that.
Yeah, Zach was. I mean, Kat was right.
It's the Zach show. Alex pulled a Zach. Yeah, except I was gone permanently.
Okay, let's get to the next little tidbit of information and news.
Hello, Mom.
Yet again, we have much. We have more news about, yet again another writer leaving a Star Wars project. I'm unfamiliar with both of them. I don't know if you guys are familiar, but apparently screenwriters Damon Lindelof and Justin Britt Gibson have left upcoming Star Wars project, while director Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy remains on board. The duo turned in a script draft in February before exiting, and a new writer has since been brought on board. The film's plot details are unknown, but it will be unveiled at Star Wars Celebration next month, which I will relay to you guys if they don't release anything. But
when they don't release anything,
for those of us outsiders who are forbidden from getting the secret announcements,
that'd be really cool if it's like only people at Celebration know and people that they tell. That'd be pretty cool. I'd be like, look, guys,
the worst marketing.
I'm like super important, so
check
I know
your privilege,
and
you bastard.
Don't.
Coming from someone who's actually going to Celebration, you know what? Let's bring more exclusivity. I'm still holding out, y'all, that they're going to change their minds last minute and be like, psych, we tricked you all. Here's the live stream. Like, I'm still holding out.
Yeah, or bring it on creator to edit. Anyway,
you're involved.
Anyway, no. Go ahead, Zach.
I was just gonna say, it's like being attached to a Star Wars project nowadays is basically like in Harry Potter, how anyone who's the defense. Yeah, it's like the defense against the dark arts teacher. You could only do it for 1 year, then you got something bad happen to you because it was cursed by Voldemort. It's like any Star Wars project is cursed, and whoever gets attached to it ends up not fulfilling it for whatever reason.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be completely honest. At this point, it's not even like heart crushing news because, and I don't mean this at all. I don't mean this at all against the writers and the creators and the people who probably were already putting in a lot of work on this at all. But it's almost just not shocking anymore to the system. I think the first few films or projects that got shelved and then eventually canned following The Rise of
It's
Skywalker, it
expected.
was right. It was a little more jarring at the time, and it was like, oh, when are we gonna get more stuff?
Yeah.
At this point, it's just like, add it to the list, and it's a shame. And again, I don't want that to belittle the work that people put in on these things, because on our end, we're just like, I think it's very one-sided for us. We're not behind the scenes, so we can just sit here and take this news freaking like month after month. It feels like we're always getting new announcements about, ooh, Star Wars this in the
Every
works. And it's
stream.
like, I can't believe that. Yes, it's literally feels like every stream we're talking about some projects that fell through, but it does stink and it's not great. I can't imagine it's good for morale. Like, from our perspective, it's just like a constant news cycle and it doesn't even affect us anymore. But it does stink for the people who put in time and work on this. And I would love to know, like, what were the ideas? Like, what is the content that could have been? Like, it's just it's a shame, but I just don't feel anything anymore. I just don't feel anything.
I'm curious as to. Go ahead, Alex.
It was Colin Trevorrow first, right? And then after that, it was the solo writers, and then it just kind of snowballed from there, which is like the consistency of constant writers leaving, which is just so weird. I don't know what's happening.
wonder how many of these are because Lucasfilm is firing them, or if it's the creators going, I don't want to do this anymore, and I'm stepping away. I'm not sure which is worse, because if it's the creators choosing to leave, then what does that say about Lucasfilm? But if it's Lucasfilm firing all the creators, then what does that say about their talent acquisition?
Well, here's the statement. He says, I will just say that for reasons that I can't get into this Sunday morning, on this day, the degree of difficulty is extremely, extremely, extremely high, said Lindelof. If it can't be great, it shouldn't exist. That's all I'll say.
Oh, shit.
Because I have the same association with it as you do, which is it's the first movie I saw sitting in my dad's lap 4 years old, May of 77. I think it's possible that sometimes when you hold something in such high esteem and reverence, you start to get into the kitchen and just go, maybe I shouldn't be cooking. Maybe I should just be eating, and we'll just leave it at that. And so, I mean, he's making it seem like it's a competency thing and he doesn't feel worthy. But I almost have a feeling he's not given the maybe freedom that he wants, per se. That's kind of what I think is going to be the recurring theme and the constant theme of all of these stories.
I read it as whenever somebody says, like, oh, I'm going to leave it at that, it sounds like he's holding back a lot of information here.
Yeah.
It does sound like it's him kind of, I don't know. I see it as him blaming Lucasfilm a little bit for maybe.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he's not given the freedom. Like, I feel like he wants to do things and they're like, no, do this. He starts to do it. And he probably had to do a million revisions of his story to the point to where he's like, this isn't good anymore. I hate it. Right. And that's what worries me.
There have been quite a lot of coincidental like announcements and fallout since was it the announcement from Bob Iger, who, like, his statement here, Damon's, it has to be great or it's not worth making, seems to fall very in line with the new kind of approach of we're back and focus on quality over quantity that Bob Iger was talking about for the new, what the trajectory and future of Star Wars and Marvel is going to be. So I wonder if, I'm not saying there's correlation or one of them, it's just coincidental. Like, it's similar, very similar mindsets. Like, maybe it has something to do with that. Like, maybe Star Wars is just really taking a step back and being like, our fans are picky. I don't know if they're going to like this. Like, we have to shoot for the gold here, especially because this whatever of these however many secret films there are in development right now, like, one of them is going to be the first one to hit theaters in like years. How long has it been since Rise of Skywalker? I don't even know. I don't even keep track anymore. But
yeah, when 2019?
Yeah, like it's gonna be. It has to be. The
100.
longer it is, it has to be effing perfect. So I don't blame them. Like I want that too. It seems to me like they're holding up to the standard of acknowledging it's been a long time since Star Wars has been on the big screen. People are thirsty. This fandom is freaking bloodthirsty for another movie, and I can't blame them for wanting to come out with something really, really, really strong. Not to suggest that Damon's project here, whatever it was, wasn't in line with that, but I imagine there's got to be a heightened sense of pressure over there to make something freaking
Like just
phenomenal.
imagine you're in like one of the biggest, if not the most, arguably the most successful IP of all time, right? And you're excited to get involved, and you get involved to the point to where it's like you have your story, you have everything that you imagined it would be, along with whoever you're writing with, and then I guess under constant presentations of the story, you're told what you can and can't do, and then there's just constant revisions to the point to where it's just a watered down version of what you imagined. I'm sure that would just be detrimental to your career. You feel as a writer and your ability as a writer, because you'd be like, this isn't what I imagined it would be in the first place anyway. This is going to go out to like millions of people, right? So many people are going to see this, and this is going to be a movie in Hollywood. This is going to be something that everyone talks about, everyone watches, critiques, and if it's not me putting my best foot forward, then what's the point in doing it? So that's the only logical reason why I would imagine someone would want to step out on something Star Wars related, right? Because it could be either, like I said, career suicide, or something that really stands out on its own and is super unique and everyone loves it, right? And really helps you get into other franchises or other films, or that sets your career moving forward. And it's just, it feels like it's the latter now, where everything you touch Star Wars related is career suicide. Like Daisy Ridley hasn't been in a movie in forever. I can't imagine being her, right? Like she went in with the best of intentions, right? She's not a terrible actress, yet she was given a situation where there's divisive fandom. Everything's kind of going wrong in that regard for her career, because people don't want to hire her because of how, divisive her character was in a lot of ways and how it was written. And it's just, I don't know. Like, I feel like people are even now worried about acting in Star Wars, and that's scary. Imagine being an actor and being like, I don't know if I want to be in a Star Wars show, because after seeing the Kenobi series and seeing what they did to Ewan, even though he was the greatest part about it, he could have been so much better. Like, the reason why that show even stands out is because he was a standout. He's a standout actor. Like, he's an amazing actor. He's very talented, right? Imagine if you put like an untalented person in a Star Wars show of someone we don't know, with like the kind of caliber that they're putting out. It's not going to go over well with the critics. It's not going to go over well for their career. It's not going to be good. It's sad. It's sad that we have to talk about it like that.
I'm hesitant to say that I think that Lucasfilm should stop and not worry about the fans. But I on some level, I do think it would serve them well to just stop worrying about pleasing everyone, because I don't think you can. It's not possible.
I agree with that.
That's
a great take.
They need to just do it. Like, just go for it. And some people are gonna like it, and some people are gonna hate it. And for the most part, we know who those people are gonna be. But you just can't worry about it. It's because there's nothing that can be done. You can't solve that problem. You just need to go out there. I would stress it's never going to happen, because it's not how big studios work. I would let the creators do what they want. I would not be meddling on the studio executive level, but that's never going to happen. It's not realistic. It's what they do. And I agree with you, Alex. I imagine that's probably what's happening here, because the executives don't want to lose money like they lost money on Solo, for example. And they don't want to see profit declining like they saw with each entry of the sequels. So they're probably paranoid about that, and they're meddling. And whenever studios meddle, it doesn't come out well. Like, there's a million examples of this. I don't know why they keep doing it. It literally loses you money from a studio perspective. So I would just, in a perfect world, I'd encourage Lucasfilm, let the creators, get them in a room with people like Dave Filoni who know the universe. Hell, even give Dave Filoni a movie. Who knows? And let them do them. Don't meddle. And just make a Star Wars movie, man. Just make a Star Wars movie.
They have every resource to hire whomever they want to have, I don't know, Dave Filoni be a showrunner and have someone else direct, have someone else write. Yet they have kind of Dave and John just doing it all, making sure that it's like, I don't understand why they can't just give more creative freedom, and why they feel so comfortable giving it to John and Dave when it's like someone who, like, for example, like Tony Gilroy is like an amazing writer, right? And they give him a chance,
Right.
and he created something that was great. Why can't they just experiment more? I don't understand. They have nothing to lose at this point. There's a lot of shit talking in the Star Wars realm, and this is miserable for like a lot of fans, right? I mean, I'd say we're kind of in like the 60-70% where we're enjoying it as much as we can, but there's people in the 10% or even like they're never going to watch Star Wars again. And I'm sure from a business perspective that doesn't make sense for someone who was once a fan to now never want to watch anything and boycott it, right? And they got to think, hey, look, what can we do that is kind of thinking outside the box instead of just trying to be safe all the time. And this safe perspective that they keep kind of throwing in everyone's minds and changing and meddling, and it's just ruining the story and ruining the magic of Star Wars, because the magic came from creativity. It came from stemming into uncharted territory. It came from revolutionizing the industry, right? That's what Star Wars is. And that's something that they need to start doing now. Otherwise, we're going to fall into a Kenobi conundrum where everything just feels stale and underused and wasted potential. And that seems to be the theme of Star Wars. But I mean, we'll see how it progresses. We have some more news coming up. We have Everything Everywhere, which, although also, by the way, to preface this, I haven't even seen this movie yet. Amanda saw it. She loved it. Have you guys seen the Everywhere, Everything, Whatever, All at Once
I
that
have
won all
not.
the awards?
All right,
I have
I'm gonna
not.
sound like a shitty aspiring actor right now, but I still haven't seen this movie, and I'm awful. I need to correct that. I need to, and I think it's still actually in theaters, or at least it's still playing at my local theater. I need to just send it. I need to just do it.
Is it really?
I think maybe they brought it
It's
back
still
because it's
playing?
like Oscars
Yeah,
season.
Yeah.
they tend to do that.
Yeah, so I want to go see it on the big screen because that's why I didn't watch it originally. Like, I just never went when it was in theaters, and I kind of missed the window. And I was like, dang, I don't want to watch it on my TV though. Like, that's anticlimactic because from what I've heard, this film visually is incredible. So, but it's a good omen at least, and the timing of this news couldn't be better coming off of the fact that it cleaned up during awards season. So,
Yeah, they're working on.
Yeah, it was Oscars where it took most of it.
Yeah.
yes.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, you're like, are you not on?
He might
I
be a
feel
little
like you're.
delayed.
Yeah, you're a little delayed. But I was just gonna say, I want to clarify because the headline's misleading. They're not working on a. It's not like they've been given their own show. They're. I believe they're directing an episode of Skeleton Crew. So I mean, if people of that talent level working on Skeleton Crew gives me more hope, I guess, for the show. We don't really know that much about it, but yeah. What do you guys think?
Am I still delayed?
Uh,
I
it
don't
depends.
think so. I don't know.
Ah, shit, I am.
Oh,
Cat and Zach
yeah.
show, everybody.
I mean, coming off of everything that we just talked about, which is anytime there's a new and exciting announcement or creative people, people in the showbiz industry who are joining on for a Star Wars project, I don't really I take everything with a grain of salt, and I believe it when I fully see it when it comes to fruition. Based on the pipeline, the trajectory in which things tend to go. Like, I'm still not recovered from the Benioff and Weiss alleged Star Wars trilogy getting axed. So that was my lesson. Like, I can't get my hopes up too much, because who knows what the fate will be. But that's promising, at least. Like, I hope that goes through, and I would certainly take it. I mean, 3 of the 4 best / supporting actor actress awards at the Oscars this year, I'm pretty sure, were cast members of Everything Everywhere All at Once, and it definitely does speak to who's your director looking like, who's helping to get you to that place. Direction is huge. Like, I think the more I never really fully grasped like how much I mean, yes, everybody knows the director's like the leader of the show there, but I never grasped until I like started, I'm trying to have a career in the acting and, film and television industry. like having an amazing director, like, is directors, it makes the difference. Like, so much rides on them, and like I didn't know that until like recently when I've been trying to like work in this industry, but it's a huge responsibility. So you have a good one. Clearly the awards season speaks to how well they at least work for actors. Directors can have different specialties, obviously. Like, some of them work differently, or are like actors, directors, or whatnot. So I guess we'll see, but it's certainly a good sign.
Yeah, it's always fascinated me how a director can shift the entire tone, and also like whatever the production excels in. For example, I'm forgetting his name because I'm so bad with names, but like the director who does Mad Max, like his whole thing is spectacle, and he creates these amazing action sequences. But then you have like a director who's like these guys who seem to be very good with like actors and creating a great
Right.
acting performances, and then you have other directors who go for like very stylistic, like the Wachowskis, like that, like stylistic directors. It's just interesting how one person can just take a movie in one direction, and it is important to have a great director. A lot of movies are sunk because the director isn't great.
Yeah, agreed. And then you get like Denis Villeneuve, who does like great sensory directing with cinematography, right? Like he knows how to build a world, right? You can see how it's lived in, the clothing, the sand, like it feels lived in. You feel like you're there, right?
So
and then now that we're
excited.
finally, I can't, like, the fact that I'm so excited about Dune, and I'm like, I'm excited about Star Wars too, of course, but I'm not like I don't know what to expect. That's what worries me, right? So it's like always this cautiously optimistic approach, right? I'm never gonna be like, I hate Star Wars, I give up, I boycott, and any of that. I'm never gonna be like that. I'm just gonna be like, I'll watch it, right, no matter what, because I'm such a big Star Wars fan. But I'm always gonna go into it, cautiously optimistic, because I don't want to expect things anymore, because they don't end up how I want them to be, which sounds like a spoiled brat approach, right? But it's just like, I mean, there are some obvious things that they should be doing that you would expect them to do, or that you would expect George to do, and they just don't do it. And that's kind of, I think, what a lot of people are getting at, right? But on that note, though, I wanted to bring up this kind of post that I saw, and I was like, dude, if only. I was like, we see Kate Blanchett at literally, like, she was at the Oscars, and it's like she's literally Satine, and I'm like, why did they not do this? Why did they not do that?
I saw that and thought of you, Alex. I mean,
you should have tagged me. Wow, you think of me, but you don't even tag me. You should always tag me now.
Well, now you know, Kat.
Yes, I should. I mean, we'll see. We need to at least get
a name drop. Yeah.
Like, if we don't get anything from her from Bo, I'm just gonna be like, dude, okay, Satine doesn't matter. Lucasfilm hates Satine. Lucasfilm hates Obi-Wan. I'm done. Just kidding. But it's gonna be really sad for me.
Some people, I think they could be slowly alluding to it, because some people were suggesting, when she's talking with Din about her father and being a princess of Mandalore and whatnot, she kind of says, almost in a very subtweet-esque way, kind of like passive-aggressive, like, I didn't embarrass my father. And some people were wondering, like, is she referring to, like, her sister, like Satine? Like, could this be, like, maybe an inkling of talking about her siblings or whatnot? So I think maybe they could be, the fact that they've already dove a little bit into her familial history, like, come on, it's right there, just please, just do it. You have to.
She needs to at least say my sister.
Yes.
And then, like, at the least, it has to, like, bring up, my sister used to do this.
It's like they're cashing in so hard on known characters, and the fact that they're not doing, and cameos as well, and the fact that they're not doing, like, the cameos of the character, like in Kenobi in his own show, the fact they're not even doing that, someone who was so pivotal in his arc. Obviously it was in Clone Wars, so we don't really know if it's just like film canon alone. But I'm just saying, like, come on, guys. If you guys are all about cashing in, that was the time to cash in. You didn't do it, right? But Jesus, what's up, Barb's basement? Honestly, dude, you should like let me know when you're having another stream, and if we're available, we can pop on for sure. But on that, let's see, what do we got? We got a sweet moment in Star Wars with our boy Omid Abtahi, who plays
Oh yeah.
I don't know if I said that right. Who plays yeah, you guys see this? Who plays
That is so cool.
Dr. Pershing. His little son got to be an extra on Coruscant, and he's like, Coruscant's real, Dad. I've been there. And he's like, yes, you have. Yes, you have. And I'm like, man,
God.
if I ever get to say that to my kid, I will definitely die happy. That's such a beautiful moment.
Seriously amazing.
And like, I honestly don't mind Dr. Pershing. I wanted to talk about last week because we didn't really talk about. Did we talk about last week?
You were one with the
Was I
Force
here?
a little bit when we were talking about last week.
That's right.
So please,
That's
yes, I
right.
want to actually hear your opinion because Zach and I were on not opposite ends of the spectrum in regards to our opinions, but we had some contrasting thoughts. So what do you say, Alex?
Ooh, contrasting thoughts. I like that. We never contradict each other or contrast each other. We're always like on the same page, and that gets boring. So it's exciting whenever Kat's like, nah, Zach, you're fucking wrong.
Yeah, Kat and I threw down.
Yeah, Kat cursed and threw expletives everywhere, and I missed it. But so the one thing I agreed with Zach on, we talked about it briefly, just over text. I was like, it was a little too long on the Coruscant. And for me, seeing Coruscant was so awesome. I loved seeing it. It looked beautiful. It did the exact same pan down from right to left down as it does in episode 3.
Right.
I don't know if you noticed that. The exact same movement, the exact same area, the exact same movement. It's literally mirrored shots of each other. I don't know if they just recycled it or what, but it's the exact same shot. And I was like, I know that shot because I've edited that shot. I've seen that shot a million times, and it was so cool. And then we go into like a different perspective of the I don't know, the gala or the performing arts center.
Yeah,
I don't even
the
know what to
opera
call that.
hall.
The opera hall, yeah. And it was beautiful, right? And then we get to see more of like the Andor-esque stuff where he comes out of the opera hall and he's communicating with other people in the world that we usually never see because it's always character driven about Anakin or about the Jedi or about Jedi. To see more of like the world building there. That was fun, right? But I thought it was going to be like one of those like cross-cut moments where it's like everything is in tandem with each other and it lines up to a certain point in the story, right? Whereas that was a complete one-off, like different direction from where the Mando story is going, right? Like there's no correlation there so far, right? And I thought it was going to be something that tied in at the end. But I think honestly, just say I do like episodes, but it just in a Mandalorian show, I felt like we were there a little bit too long. I would have liked to have gone back to Mando faster. But on the whole, the episode was okay in that regard because the beginning with Mando and Din, with Din and Bo-Katan was really cool. Some of the coolest, I guess, aerial special effects, and then even him jumping out of the N1, right? Or no, of what's her ship called?
Yeah.
You guys know?
No,
I don't.
I'm not good with ship names.
Yeah, I'm terrible with ship names.
Does her ship have
except for the N1 because the N1's my favorite. Yeah, it's like a special type of fighter, but it doesn't matter. It looked realistic when he jumped out, right? And he was falling. It all looked great.
Yeah.
It kind of reminded me of Top Gun in a couple ways too. It was pretty cool. And then we see just like a massive fleet appear, right? And there were people, probably, but this is a guy. Wait, probably going to sound rude, but this guy is the ugly twin of the guy who plays Daredevil.
I kind of see it. Charlie Cox. He like sort of looks like Charlie Cox. From Daredevil? You don't know?
Charlie Cox plays Daredevil?
Yeah.
He plays Daredevil?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was someone else. Oh, wow. Okay, anyway, that was a revelation. Anyway,
the Gauntlet.
Oh, yeah, the intro.
Sick name. Sorry.
Yeah. It's the Gauntlet.
That
It's
is
the
a
Gauntlet.
sweet
The
ship
ship is called.
name.
Yeah.
So he jumps out, he falls, it looks realistic, it looks awesome, and then we see a bunch of ships appear, and it's like, oh crap, who the fuck is this, right? And then everyone's theorizing, oh, it's just Moff Gideon, because they talked about it in the episode. Oh, it's Thrawn. I really don't think it's Thrawn. We already talked about this a million times, right? It's definitely not Thrawn, because I feel like that would just be way too quick of a reveal and way too easy, or way too thrown in there. It just doesn't. I don't know. I think it needs to be like someone else or something else. But there were a bunch of videos talking about how that's how Thrawn makes appearances, where he has like a couple of fighters go in or something, and then all of a sudden they all appear on the enemy. It's like because he's a master, um, uh, chess master, if you will, in the art of war, right? So I don't know. I guess we'll find out. I hope it's not Thrawn. I hope it's probably just like Moff Gideon or some other warlord or some shit. Even though they said it's no warlord, whatever. I don't think we'll see Thrawn until Ahsoka.
I agree. I also, one of the things I don't think I did say about this episode that I didn't like is everybody's calling it Andor-esque. I actually disagree. I think it felt like it tried to imitate Andor in that the writing was nowhere near as good, but it tried to have a similar slow burn. It just felt the writing was way more basic. They were pretty on the nose about things, whereas Andor would have a bunch of subtext and it was like smartly written. It was fine. Like, it was a fine episode, but I wouldn't say that I liked it, and I wouldn't say that I hated it. I just felt it dragged for too long, and there was no clear. I would have liked them to tie some kind of thread to the Bo and Din stuff from the Coruscant stuff, some kind of palpable thread in this episode. And then it might have made more sense to me. But it was just an interesting choice to again take two characters who have had like 20 lines of dialogue in the entire show and build a 45
Yeah, that was
about
a good
them.
point that you made too. Yeah, you literally said that earlier. Like the fact that we are now emphasizing a character that we have never seen really now, and given I don't know what like 30 minutes of screen time, in a show about the Mandalorians is very. It's definitely an interesting choice. But Serena, yes, it's Maul Samoi's back again, and we're gonna have Poe deliver that line. Somehow Maul returned.
God.
He's gonna be a kid. It's gonna be beautiful, and we're gonna love it. Is the episode out?
It's
No.
always out early for Charlie somehow. I have no idea how. He gets it so
I need
early.
proof, Charlie. Unless he's already gone. I need proof, Charlie. I don't believe you.
He might be.
I'm a skeptic.
I'm checking.
I mean, it would make sense. 45 though. That's 15 minutes early. That's fucking so early.
Right. He's also East Coast though. Like maybe they do it to just cut them a break over there because they're already like
Yeah.
What? Like, I will give it to you 15 minutes early after you already stayed up to
I am a
2:45.
generous mouse.
Did you see? Have you guys seen? You guys know who Hezbollah is?
Yes.
Like the tiny person with like that defect. So he went to Disneyland and he got to meet Mickey Mouse, and the dude straight up punches Mickey Mouse in the face and kicks him in the face. And I'm just like, dude, if anyone else did that, they'd be banned for life.
Oh my!
Did you guys look that up? Look that up later. The guy,
I need to now.
He straight up goes in there. He sort of goes in there and
like unprovoked.
It's like cute, and then he like just keeps fucking with his nose, and then like punches his nose, and then he just like kicks his hand, and dude, it's like the funniest thing ever. And the fact that he gets no repercussions is like the best part too, because Disney, you know how they are. They would 100% ban.
Oh, any other
little kid
human
for
being
doing
would be
that,
out of the
right?
parks
Yeah.
forever. Wait, I'm watching this just live. He literally like winds up for the punch. Oh my gosh. What? They had like a stage photo op and everything. Okay, this is cordial. It's friendly. He's playing with his nose. He gave him a little kiss on the cheek. Wait. Okay. Oh.
You should do a reaction video.
This is playful so far.
Wait for the kick.
All right, they're having some like
Dude,
friendly.
I find him to be so interesting, man. He's like one of the most
Mickey
interesting
Mouse.
people on the internet right now, and no Hasbullah. Like, I just love seeing the kind of shit that he does and gets into.
That wasn't as aggressive as I thought it was gonna be. I thought he went full blown Rocky mode on Mickey Mouse. He was just being playful.
Oh well, no, but like he's still like, you can't do that if you're gonna do a photo op
True.
with the mouse. You can't do that kind of stuff. You have to be like big hugs, pose for the photo. You fuck with me, you're dead. Right?
Was that you in the suit or something? Is that why you're so upset about this?
Oh, imagine. I'm just like the secret cast member.
Alex was like, you know what? I deal with this day in and day out. You know
He
what?
snaps.
Oh my god, dude! Like, what room was that even in? Like, imagine how many people have probably been in that one room that they were in. Probably like 10, right? It's probably one of those like celebrity areas.
Right,
where
it
they get
looked
to
like
meet
a
the mouse,
fancy,
right? It was like a very special area. It definitely wasn't like Club
looked
33
like
or anything.
something from the
It was like
White
something
House.
else.
Yeah.
No, there's just like a special area for like celebrity meetups with Mickey Mouse, and that's it. We need a Mickey Mouse accent now, Zach. Yes, Zach.
No,
it is your destiny.
I'm not. I can't do Mickey Mouse. That's not. I only do Star Wars, people.
You can do Mickey Mouse for the right price.
Oh my goodness!
What was that from? For the right price. Who says that? I can do any. Oh, Cad Bane. I can do any job.
For the right price.
For the right price.
Charlie is
I know he's an adult. Yeah, he's like, what, 19?
Yeah.
Yeah. He has, I don't know what the disease is, but anyway, the new episode is called The Foundling, and it is what was the full red time?
Have they not had an episode called The Foundling before? It feels like such an obvious.
I know. I'm shocked.
They haven't.
Yeah,
that's wild.
But Mandalorian season 3 episode 5 is 41 minutes and 3 seconds long.
Oh wait, so that's about, longer than what I've been hearing.
That's about 30, 37, 38.
Yeah.
Oh, that's better than I thought. I was hearing like 30 minutes on the nose. I was like, no.
I heard like 22. I heard 22, and I'm like, dude, there's no way it's 22 minutes.
That'd be awful.
Wars episode.
It'd be a Clone Wars episode. It's like literally just a Clone Wars episode that they just played.
And also for all of the build-up, I mean, Carl Weathers, somebody had asked earlier in the chat, how do we know what the title is when we usually don't find out until the actual title card of the episode? And it's because Carl Weathers it wasn't an accident. I think he's allowed to do whatever he wants. It's Carl Weathers, and he directed this episode. So he was just being excited, and he tweeted out the name, and I don't even think it was anyone Disney related, and he didn't delete it either, I don't think, but it was just a fan who was like, I can't believe he shared it. And he was like,
yeah, we usually don't know the titles, right? Yeah. So that was like really interesting. Yeah. I feel like because this episode we're probably going to get Grogu, right? So it's going to be really cool.
That's the theory. It adds up. Everyone's been wondering because we've pretty much seen a majority of the trailer shots now, that being the biggest one that still remains. And then when he name dropped it.
So if we get that now, if we get all the trailer shots now, then what do we have left, right? That's going to be exciting.
Yeah, right. Right.
Is it up? Zach, do you check?
I've been checking. It is up. It's up.
Let's go.
Okay.
And it's 33 minutes. You were wrong, Alex. You were wrong.
Alex.
I hate my sources.
Cat looks so you look of a horde, Cat. You're like, Alex.
Because I hold
this says episode 5. Did I say episode 5?
You said episode 5, I think.
Is this episode 4?
No, 4. Wait, 4. Oh my god. You did say episode 5.
Oh, so episode 5 is reportedly 41 minutes.
Alex, what the hell?
All this week. So everyone this week
No,
is
it's
right.
27 minutes.
Oh.
Fuck.
Hey, that's not a bad thing.
I did say episode 5. Wait, hold on.
You did.
Yeah,
you did.
Yeah, Steve. Yep.
I want to rewatch that because that was so funny. You acted like he just spilt like water all over the floor at a party or something. You're just like, Alex.
You're like party foul
so
on the carpet. On the carpet, Alex.
Oh my
like
god.
Like he personally made this episode shorter.
Oh
It's
my
like,
god.
I gotcha.
Alex,
Ha,
like
ha,
why?
It's like when Obi-Wan was like, Anakin, my allegiance is to the
My
Republic,
allegiance
to
is to knowing what the
democracy.
actual runtime is and not using news.
Oh,
All right.
Truly,
All
because
right.
all
Are
this
we
hate.
are we coming back, or
I
are we
probably
gonna
will
close out?
not. I'm gonna peace
I'll
out and
I'll
enjoy.
I'll watch the episode with the fine folks who want to stick around.
It's gonna go by in a blip.
Okay.
Yeah.
It'll be a
Okay.
quick little
I'll,
one.
I'll come back and then I'll watch Bad Batch separately.
Secretly.
Alrighty, folks.
Oh my god, I almost just said
And
stop
break.
all.
We're gonna pass on
Alright.
the emoji rain tonight, but yeah.
Let's get to it.
We
All
G
right.
Cat.
Deuces.
We'll see you guys on Thursday. I can't wait. I almost just accidentally pressed the stop button. That would not have been good. That would not have been good.
Sabotage.
You know what I'm gonna do to you? What you did to me and Alex, and just dip on it. I promise. I swear, I'll let it go now. I got it out of my system. I forgive.
All
I
right.
forgive Zach and his Wi-Fi. Okay, bye everybody.
Yeah. All right, let me get the timer up. Timer. Stopwatch. Share. Can you see that? Nice and big? Okay. All right. Chapter 20. All right. I'm going to skip the recap as always. I am starting now. All right. Enjoy the episode, everybody. I'm going to watch the intro. This Grogu-sized portion of an episode. Yeah, something we didn't get into on the podcast that we wanted to talk about was how we just don't like how the episode lengths are so inconsistent. I wish it was a set like 40, 45 minutes per. Ooh, I like this shot. And they wonder why they get attacked by a giant freaking crocodile because they're shooting into the water. Haven't you seen Lord of the Rings? Don't disturb the water. The time has come. Yeah. He's going to Mando school. He's gonna destroy this kid. kid. He could snap you like a twig. Is he gonna force choke this kid? Why was he able to hit him 3 times and that kid had to stop after hitting him once? Hell yeah, Bo. How do you know he's not dead? Like, It's ironic that they're gonna want him to eventually cover his adorable little face. Right? I don't feel like you have time to just like it's not a spider. He's not gonna stick him on a web and feed from him. It's probably just gonna eat him. Realistically, Bo probably would have just had to go save him immediately. Whatever. Maybe that's not how these alien animals work. Freaking Ahmad Best. I love having Tamora back to voice the clones. Ooh.
Not all.
Yeah, there goes everyone's theories. Who could have predicted it would be Ahmad Best? I believe so. Yeah, those were Naboo soldiers too. It's got double layer protection. It was awesome. A little sad we didn't see Anakin, but it was never really it was always a long shot. And that might be the last time we see the Jedi Temple during Order 66. He's kind of like I just can't believe that this predator wouldn't eat him immediately. And if not immediately, certainly after a full day. More Jedi Temple, more Order 66. Hell yeah. Star Wars 3 about their crimes, not to sleep, then proceed to complain about it for weeks. I don't watch much theory anymore, so I've heard that that's sometimes what happens, though. I've seen the memes. Bo-Katan loves her new situation. Yeah, there's like no sense of urgency. It's that dude's son, right? It's Vizsla's son, I believe. The big guy. Yeah, Micah agrees. I can't like it's crazy that people actually do this in real life, just free climb. I could never do this. I'm not even scared of heights or anything. This is just something else. And some people sleep in, I don't know if you've seen it, they'll like suspend their tents on the cliffside. So their tents are basically hanging or they're on like this really tiny ledge and they just sleep there while they're climbing if it takes overnight. It's insane. That is crazy, especially if they're melting. It's probably going to be eggs. Ah. Oh. There's always a bigger fish. They're boys now. They're gonna take their Mandalorian children to the Mandalorian Little League baseball games, and they're gonna be on the same team, and they're gonna go to barbecues together. It's gonna be great. It's the start of a beautiful friendship, everyone. I love how dull everybody's armor is compared to the main characters. They're more than drinking buddies now. Mandalorian BBQs. If you could train them, that'd be pretty sick. Mandalore. Carl Weathers wasn't even in the episode, and he directed it. That's pretty cool. Good job, Carl Weathers. The man's a legend. Okay. Let's get that out of here. I believe AD will be rejoining me briefly, and then we will go our separate ways and watch The Bad Batch on our own time. Due to her mythosaur signet is filthy. I liked it. I thought it was a good episode for what it was. It was fun. I thought the flying sequence was fun. I liked the Coruscant sequence, the Jedi Temple sequence. I think we'll revisit that because it kind of got interrupted. Oh, here comes the man now. Hello there.
Hello there. General Kenobi. Dude, I wish I could sound like him.
General Kenobi.
Holy shit, that'd be so sick.
Can't tell what her intentions are. Will she betray all of them, or is she getting into their way? I think she's getting into their way.
She's getting into their way. Yeah, it definitely seems like that. I can't imagine why they would make it to where she just betrays them. That just would seem like weird.
Now, do you think this is going to take a turn for the worse? Like they're going to do something that she doesn't agree with and it's all going to unravel? Or do you think they're going to unify even further and they're going to take this direction where she's a happy camper in this new family of hers?
They have the Mandalorian barbecues.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. The whole idea of like a quest and conflict and facing camaraderie along the way, and I don't know. I feel like something has to happen that makes them go separate. Honestly, I'm not a big fan of the way anymore. I'm kind of sick of it. Let's be honest. I mean, I know there are people who are probably loving this, but for me, it was a fun episode, right? But I just can't imagine that Din would be like, or that Bo would just do that, any of that. It just doesn't feel like something that she would do. I know she lost her home. She's lost several homes. She's made all the wrong decisions. It would make sense that maybe now she's like, oh, maybe I should make a different decision than what I would normally do. Sure. But it just feels like she's like written into something that she wouldn't normally do, and it just doesn't feel like her anymore. It feels weird. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. It just feels a little weird.
It feels like she's temporarily satisfied with being a part of the way, so to speak. But I've always felt that they've attached sort of a negative stigma to the way. Like there was always this shadow on the edge of the story where it was like, well, maybe they're not right, and
Yeah, it was like I should just take care of the kid and fuck the way kind of deal.
yeah,
And
it's
now
like
it's like they're all together, and now it's all good. Now it's a good stigma, and it's interesting, right? I'm trying to think about it a little bit more, but
yeah, because it's like, they have to keep their helmets on, they have to
yeah,
follow the
dude, I
creed,
just
blah
want
blah
to see
blah.
her long hair, dude. She's hot. I want to see her. I don't want to see her in a fucking. I want to see her in a goddamn helmet. I
I
like
just
her
always,
attitude too. Her attitude's gonna go away now. I
yeah,
don't
it's gonna
know,
become
you
more
know.
uniform.
Yeah.
Feels like she's going back to her Death Watch ways. I'm excited to just see the direction they're going to take, because no, we didn't really get any direction in this episode, but it was fun for what it was. I enjoyed it for what it was.
It
What
was
did
like
you?
good filler in a way, right?
Yeah, it was good filler, but we
Yeah.
also got some Grogu stuff.
Mhm.
I don't think any of us won the bet, because the bet was for
I have to look back. Did any of us say 4?
I think I said, I don't remember. We have to
I think
rewatch it.
whatever I said, you said the one after or the one
Yeah,
before. Yeah, I think I said like 6 or something. Dude, what
makes
if
you
Cat's
think.
right again? I swear to God, if Cat's right again, I'm gonna be so pissed.
Makes you think, is the title The Mandalorian for Din, Grogu, or Bo-Katan? Maybe all of them. Maybe
I
they're
remember we
all.
were like theorizing at the end of the second season, like where can they go now with Din, right? Is it just gonna be now it's gonna be about a different Mandalorian, or is it gonna be about that Mandalorian, right? So we were always thinking about that and theorizing that. It seems like now it's gonna be more emphasized on, like, I guess the foundling of Grogu and then Bo, right? It seems to be where it's headed. Din is kind of just like there to be there when he needs to be for a lot of it, right?
Yeah, it's it has felt more like Grogu and Bo's season, and I'm okay with that. It's just unexpected, like you said. We thought naturally it would, or at least I thought naturally after season 2 it would. This was before the Book of Boba Fett brought them back together, of course, but I thought that naturally the show would lean more into Din's story, and it has not really been that way. He was basically a side character in this episode. He
He's
was a
been a side
side.
character for most of it, right? So
Yeah,
far.
I'd
Yeah.
say he was probably the main character in the first episode, because it was following him around from place to place. But yeah, in episodes 2, episodes 3, he wasn't really in much, and then 4, he's been a side character. You're right.
Yeah, it's like
It's
he was like the main character for the setup and then set aside for the rest
yeah,
of it. Which is really interesting. And yeah, Serena, I will agree with you on that. I normally am very indifferent with her because I'm just sick of it. It just feels so weird to me, like the whole cult, right? But I actually like this episode with her in it. It
was
was
it
dope that
just
Grogu wants to be a Mandalorian. No Yoda species for sure has been a Mandalorian.
yeah,
What was
but
that, Zach?
was it just me, or was it a little weird how Grogu started having his flashback? I feel like the vehicle for that was a little strange.
Yeah, I don't. I was like, I mean, the moment I saw the pounding, I'm like, is it like pounding, like the sound of metal being welded and opened for the door was what like it signaled like
It
the
doesn't really
PTSD.
make sense.
Yeah, it was really interesting. I mean, she prefaced it by saying, "Look, when I do this, it brings out trauma and all this shit," right? So I'm like, so is it really just like a magical form of just like a trauma um vehicle where it's
Yeah.
like if you are in here while I'm doing this, you're gonna fucking relive traumatic moments.
You're gonna
And
see
Grogu's
some
just
shit.
like flashy lights, and then he gets a little traumatic, right? And um
Hello,
trauma or
darkness, my old
I
friend.
know it's like they just play the disturbed version of it, and I'm just like, I don't know. Like this the one thing about that scene too is it was like super fast, right? Everything was so fast, and we didn't really get to feel the environment. We didn't really get to feel like the moment. It was all super fast, weird cuts. Um, I wasn't a fan of the CGI. They used the volume here too. Ahmad Best was really funny. I was not expecting that.
I thought he was great, but I
Yeah,
thought he was the best part.
he
They
was the best
again,
part for sure.
they made the temple feel small again. They keep making it
Yeah,
feel small, and like there's no one there. There's like 6 clones, and then it irritates me because in Revenge of the Sith, I understand it's a movie. I understand, but it just felt like really felt like you were in this massive
when
structure,
you
and
play
there's
the games, there's so much happening,
yeah, and
right?
you felt like there's literally legions of clones just attacking hundreds of Jedi, and it was just
Like
all out
it
warfare.
doesn't take 6 clones to kill 5 Jedi in there. That was pretty dumb. I hated
Yeah,
that. I thought
yeah,
they would cut through at least like 30 of them before one of them dies. I mean, come on.
yeah.
They're not children. They're full-grown adults. Like what the fuck is that? Like why are they dying so quick? So dumb.
I love how it's just some guy that helped Grogu escape. It wasn't some reference. It's just a random Jedi. Yeah, I mean
Yeah, I
that's
mean, I agree. I agree 100%.
always what everybody had their theories, their fun theories, like who it could
Barris
be.
or
Yeah,
Quinlan or whatever, and it's like it doesn't have to be them. It really
yeah.
doesn't.
Ultimately, it was the most likely. This was the most likely result. Is that it was going to be just someone we haven't met before. Um,
I
I
think that was a good call too. I'm okay
yeah.
with it.
It would make the galaxy feel small if it's always someone we know.
In an
Uh,
already small, tight, cramped, CGI filled, volume filled area.
yeah. If you don't know, I'm on best character's name, Kelleran
Yeah,
Beck. He
Killer and
was,
Beck.
yeah, I did know about that. I was wondering, is it the same? Like he's literally playing the same character? That's pretty sweet. Uh,
Oh, really? Oh, that is him, isn't it? That's
yeah.
interesting.
Let's see, Kelleran Beck. Oh, I'm like
Windu's
ways.
Padawan, and this will lead to him. Windu's Padawan. Windu had a Padawan?
In Legends he did. It was actually, I believe he trained Depe Balaba, which is Kanan's master. Kelleran Beck. Yeah, that's him. Same dude. It's confirmed on Wikipedia.
That's so funny. Man.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with it being a mod. It's just like the way they portrayed it and the way they showed it, and it not feeling like Revenge of the Sith either. It's also it, it's like I just need it to all look like the way it did in the movie. I know it's a really hard ask. It's a tough ask to do that for a TV show, right?
Yeah.
But it needs to look like that. The sabers reflecting the saber movements, the Jedi movements, the Jedi clothing, the environments. It just needs to look like
The
that, or I
color
just
grade.
the
The
color.
color grade needs to look
Yeah,
the same.
it needs to look the same. Otherwise, it doesn't feel like it's in the same place, and that's a big problem with me. And same with like the choreography too. Like there's something with the choreography. Like it seemed like every movement was like rehearsed a million times, choreographed perfectly, and they used the editing, the different cameras and the editing to match it all perfectly. Whereas this just felt like for lack of a better word, like a mess, right? Like it's not a mess, but in a way, it felt like a mess in a lot of ways. Um, Showcasing the Jedi and showcasing them all dying, right? I get it, but I also am not too happy about it. But
I like the Naboo people were also helping the Jedi. I can't fucking talk, man.
the Nubian,
Nubian
Nubian,
Nubian The Naboo people were also helping the Jedi. It makes sense, but it's also ironic because Palpy is from there. Yeah, I like hearing the Naboo blasters. The wah wah kind of
yeah.
sound that it makes.
What are people from Nubia? Is it new? Are they Nubians?
They're called the Naboo. That's
What?
what the people are called. They're called the Naboo.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that's what they're called.
Is that a joke?
No, if you watch the Phantom Menace, they call them the Naboo.
But I mean, that's what
We
Boss
are
Nass
no
said.
friends with the Naboo. They
Yeah, but
think
isn't
we.
that just him being dumb because they're
No,
making
that
fun
they're
of
called the Naboo. That's what the people are called.
Misa no like the Naboo? But isn't that like
We
a
are no
isn't
like
like a
the
like they
Naboo.
don't know what to call them or it's like an insult? That's what I always interpreted it as.
No, they're called the Naboo.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Made
the
you wonder who tipped off
Naboo.
Naboo to help.
The Naboo were the descendants of human colonists who migrated from Grismalt approximately around 4000 BBY. So yeah, they're called the Naboo.
That's interesting. At least the camera wasn't shaky. Wait, was it? I thought it was. It wasn't shaky? Was it steady?
It wasn't as bad as Kenobi, that's for sure.
Oh, I actually don't remember. I was just like too focused on the CGI and the color grade, and the lack of cameras. It was like, I mean, they do a lot of continuous, like long takes for these scenes, you
Yeah.
know? And I don't know if I like that. I get like the intent, but I don't know if I like it.
It's yeah, they're trying to make you feel like you're there or whatever.
Yeah. I don't know if I like it.
It
But
doesn't feel cinematic to me. It
yeah,
feels
it
more like
looks,
a video game or something.
or it looks like a fan film because they only had
Yeah.
one cam, right?
Yeah. It just I think I just keep coming back to the fact that it does not look like Revenge of the Sith, and
Yeah.
it's because you're so right. You do when you're going back to a specific time period and a specific place that we've seen on screen before, it has to match it in so many ways, and they're just not matching it that well. And it's just like it looks it's passable. Like it definitely looks good. It just doesn't look the same. And it could look better, and they use the volume, which is a problem because the volume does not look good for whatever reason. In the Jedi Temple especially, the volume doesn't look good. um
Yeah, and they use they weren't CGI clones either, right? Which like I don't know. The armor was a little too saturated too. And some I just I don't know. I mean they're nitpicks, but it's like it's just so ingrained in my head about what it's
yeah,
supposed to look like. So it's just like come on. Like I just want it to be the way I remember it, which is a tough ask. I get it, but they want me to feel like
I
I'm there. They take me to Dexter Jester's dive bar.
hell yeah,
Yeah.
because this is before Bill got to Yoda or Kenobi. And the deleted scenes, we saw Padme had a group of senators. This would seem to correlate. The Jedi had a secret hand in the rebellion. Maybe.
I mean, the idea of exploring other Jedi that have encountered Order 66, right, is something that they've been doing constantly, right? And it's great because it lets us really see the lives of of devastation and the lives that were lost during that time, right? And it makes us feel like we're it's more of an expansive type of event rather than just like that one montage we got in Revenge of the Sith, right? And I think it's fine. That is fine. It's just everything else, and I hate to say that, right? I just fucking hate to say that.
Yeah. What would you give the episode as a whole?
I would say, I mean, it was a fun episode. It was fun. It wasn't great. It was fun. It's passable. I'd say between a 6 and a 7. Honestly, it was a fun episode.
Yeah, I'd probably give it a 7. I had a fun time, and I think Carl Weathers did a good job. I always like it when actors direct episodes because it's I don't know, it's fun. That's the word I would use for this episode. It was fun.
Yeah,
It wasn't
100%.
yeah, it wasn't a masterpiece. It wasn't terrible. It was I liked it better than last week's.
It didn't hit me in the feels. It didn't like. I don't know how to explain it. Like Star Wars usually gives me that feeling. It didn't give me that feeling, but it was
Yeah,
fun, right? Like it was still like something that, hey, I'm glad I turned on Disney Plus and stayed up and watched it because it
yeah, yeah,
was
yeah.
enjoyable.
I never felt like it was dragging. I was never bored. So yeah, it was a solid episode.
Yeah, and Grogu was very cute. I agree. Yes.
Yeah.
Grogu was so fucking cute in this episode. What would you guys all rate it for those of you who are here? I'm curious to know all your thoughts because I don't know. I feel like this is going to be something that I think everyone can be unified with, especially if you're prequel fans. There's something off, and I know why, but it's just I'm sad that it is off.
And that might be the last time we ever see Order 66, the Jedi Temple.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know we keep saying that every time we see that. And they keep bringing us back, but
do you think the Kenobi one looked better? I'm like trying to think now. I think the Kenobi one looked a little bit better in some aspects.
I think just because that courtyard looked really nice that they started in the beginning, I think it was very similar once they got inside the temple. It's always just
The
hallways.
movements, it's like the movements
Yeah.
too. It's just like the clone movements also are very clunky. Like they're not as calculated as I'm used to seeing too. Um, man, it's like CGI death with the clone troopers is so much cooler than live action.
Could you imagine an Andor style show that was Mando based, like a lot of street level Mando stories? Honestly, you give the Andor style to anything, and I think it would up it in quality. 7.5.
It's literally a quality argument, right? I feel like Andor is just so high quality and it's just cinematic in a lot of ways, and that's what Star Wars has been lacking because we haven't been getting movies, right? It's just all TV shows, and the
Yeah.
budget isn't what a movie, it's like a big Hollywood blockbuster normally is. So there's going to be some things that don't look the way we're used to seeing, and that makes me beg the question: should Star Wars just be movies? Right? It's like fuck, man.
It kind of tie it all in a bow. Go back to what that writer said. How if it
If
can't
it's not,
be,
yeah,
yeah, should it exist? I don't
that might be
know.
what he saw, and I was like, oh shit. So I mean, some movie probably isn't even going to look the way we're used to.
Give it an 8, only because I was not a fan of the whole Mando beast scene with swallowing the kid and then he's dry. I will say they cut corners by reshooting the same set with the highest peak. I did think it was interesting how the kid survived for so long. Like the
And like
animals
they
kept him alive.
conveniently just like showed up when they were feeding. It's like, oh god. And then I was like thinking like, okay, maybe this is just the time when all the Vizslas should just be dead. You know, at this point, the Vizslas should just die. Who cares? They're not important anymore. It just doesn't make me care about them anymore, and it's kind of sad. Because the last great one, um, uh,
Pre
Pre,
Bizarre.
which is such a weird name, who was voiced by Jon Favreau. He was probably the last good one, right? The last strong one.
Doesn't he also voice this guy too?
Yeah,
But it's
he
like they
loved.
make it deeper.
Yeah, he also released an action figure with his face. Have you seen that?
No.
Yeah, so they unmasked him, and it's his face on it.
It's just Favreau.
Yeah, I'm not even joking. He did that. I just skipped the last part of the episode. Well, in a desert, it would be kind of wasteful, evolutionary to waste too much water making buckets of saliva.
Yeah,
Is
maybe.
that in reference to the kid not having any saliva or saliva being
Yeah.
anywhere? Oh,
My thought was just, wouldn't you have your kid like feed your kids immediately? I mean, they
wouldn't you bring
seem
him
very
back,
hungry.
realize he's in armor, and then they just like pick him apart, all the good parts, to realize? I don't know. And would he even still have his helmet on at that point? Would he have like would they have like tried to knock it off so they could feed? Because he realized, oh shit, I can't eat this with the Beskar on. I have to take that off.
It just felt like that bird swallowed him and kept him in some kind of chamber that it could regurgitate him out for the young. But why did it wait a day and a half to feed
And they
them?
camped out too. That was another thing. It was like, okay.
Yeah, if I'm Vizsla, I'm like, dude, F that. That's my son. Like I'm not how do
And
you
he divulged that information at the right as they were looking for, like as they were in the nest, not before,
he's
not
my
during,
son.
not while they were camping. He did an emotional reaction without even telling them that it was his son right at that moment, and that's something that's like so, I don't know, like cliche of like a dumb character that has to die, right? Something in like a horror movie where it's like is that you? And then they run in there and then they get killed by the monster or something, right?
Yeah.
It's like something you always see. And it's like the fact that a Vizsla did that, I'm like, come on, dude. Come on.
You're better than this.
You're better than this. Look at your forefathers.
Oh,
Tari was
yeah.
a god.
I was hoping he was gonna use the dark saber to kill the bird thing, but he used his knife.
Yeah, I did. He made a Discord too. If you want to go join his Discord. I'll be working on some more stuff with him. I'm just gonna be on vacation next month, so he kind of just did it this time.
Gonna be in London, innit?
I'm gonna be in London in it for Star Wars Celebration, and then I'm going to France to speak Francais in France.
Oh,
Oh,
oui, oui.
oui, oui, oui.
That'll be fun.
It'll be a good time. Only unfortunately, right now there's riots happening. So I'm like, Ren, can you like fix your shit over there in France and like make sure that like when I get there, I can actually enjoy the country instead of wading through waste and broken
Okay,
wind.
you sound like such an ignorant American. They're rioting for such a good reason, though.
No, I know. I'm just kidding. That's the entire point, though. I want to be an ignorant American. It's like stupid American when I arrive. Stupid American.
Be careful in France with the protests.
Yeah.
Just protest.
I want to know
them.
when Sabine shows up. That's not. She's not going to show up, or I guess. I mean, she might. She's in Ahsoka though.
I think she's currently off with Ahsoka right now. I think that Ahsoka is probably happening parallel to this, probably around the same time. So I would assume Sabine is off with Ahsoka going to save Ezra or find Ezra or whatever. But shall we wrap this thing up?
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
All right,
Thanks
everybody.
for tuning in, guys. You can go ahead and close it out.
I was going to say the same thing. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. If you haven't liked the stream already, go ahead and do that. It helps us out a whole lot. And we will see you on Thursday for the next Evil Ewok podcast. See you, everybody.